All I'm saying is, if Ferris just took out the track and moved
Hey,
listen.
Okay, fine.
Settle. If we just took out the track and moved the field right up next to the stands and then made like a small bowl all the way around, not a whole lot, but at the ends made it like pretty much bigger and the opposite side bigger, where you could really like the noise there would be like multiplied by 10 because you have the whole track that you got to get over, and then like after that, where does it go? All the sound just goes up.
Yeah.
And then you just move the track to the open space in between the football field and the soccer field. Just make a nice track and field space right there.
Okay.
That's big enough.
I like your idea. The only problem is that field is very, very wet. So drainage would have to be a very, very in-depth, complex project to make sure all the drainage would get away. Because it definitely was one thing. That's why, like, I think a couple years ago, we had to resurface it, was because of the water pushing off of those hills. But that's just the price we pay for where we're at. So, but I think if like we continue the success, I wouldn't be surprised within the next 10 years to like, yeah, we need to make a football improvement and make a
or
stadium improvement.
even what they could do is just move the football field to where the IMs are.
Over there?
Yeah, just make a whole brand new stadium, and then you could, kind of make the football field like a little bit more like what it is right now. You could kind of make that, improve the track on it, and then you can kind of have that be like a track-centered thing,
It wouldn't be a bad idea, I would say. I would say
that would probably be the best idea, because if you think about it, I mean, you have to kind of work out parking and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably the
biggest problem. It's like the biggest problem.
Mind.
But like, if you really wanted to, knock out Kramer, knock out Bishop. How many people stay there? Just put them in Bond and Peterball and all that stuff. Like, you really don't have to do anything about that. Knock out that, move DPS to somewhere else, and you kind of, that whole spot can be parking, because that's about as big of a spot as what the actual parking lot is now. I mean, I guess you have the rec parking behind, but really what you could do is just have parking all over the place. You could have parking across the street at the strip mall, because you can just have people pay for parking there. You could have people pay for parking really at the spot down the street by where B-Dubs is at and stuff. I don't know. I got ideas out the wazoo, man.
Yeah,
get me on the phone with the president. Get Bill Pink on the phone.
Yeah, we need to have a chat. I would like that idea. I'd actually consider flip-flopping it. I would say do your idea with football, make the bowl much more tighter, so we actually can keep sound, because you're absolutely right. When everything, that's why it's not as loud. Yeah,
that's like it gets loud, but it's not as loud as like it could be. We have enough people and enough rowdy people that we could get it as loud as what like Grand Valley was. That AnchorBone last year.
Oh yeah,
almost every game.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem would be definitely parking. Would definitely be the biggest issue, just because with DPS, those lots are really good, but I mean, you're going to have people staying there. That's the only problem. So I would say keep the football field where it is. I wouldn't mind if they had like an open track facility, maybe even over there. I mean, I don't think that would be like a terrible idea. And you could bring in, maybe you could probably have to build up some standage around it. And I mean, that wouldn't be bad either to have you could have like a turf field, multi-purpose field. And you could have that for any team that needs to use it for IMs or whatever. Yeah. And I don't think that would take up that much space where you'd have to like even take out. I mean, you probably have to find a new place for like the softball fields and stuff for IMs. But I mean, I think that they would be able to find a place somewhere too. I would assume maybe you even could keep it there.
You could I don't know. You could figure it out. Yeah. I mean, it's big enough where it fits a whole track around it.
We have the ability to use that. I just don't want. Like, I mean, no, I'm biased, but I'm going to definitely be biased on this one to say that I would love to have that own facility. I think there's definitely, like, what Grand Valley does makes sense. They have lubbers. They have that field. Like, we can do something like that and have have the track being moved into its own space where it's like with a lacrosse or like for a rugby team or something like that, where they can have like a surface to play on, so they're not just literally playing on a literal just grass intramural recreational field. Like, that's kind of like, it's cool, but it's like, yeah, you could definitely do better than that for like these game environments. So you could build up. All I could say though is like, we like just don't just plan it there and then just expect like we need stands around, we need all the equipment, proper drainage, all that sort of stuff, which I'm sure they might have
It would be a lot of work, but like You'd have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
It would just be a lot of planning.
It
Planning
wouldn't be a
and money.
terrible spot either because all the way around is covered for the most part with like Kramer in the dorms. The wind's not going to be an issue.
The planning part wouldn't be hard. It's just we need the money.
The upkeep and the money would be probably the hardest part to actually do it. So, but we got ideas here, Joe. I like where your
Get us on the horn with the president.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
Mr. Pink, we have ideas. Call us.
Pink.
Be on the show. There's a wide open chair right there.
Could you imagine? Crazy.
Should we?
Let's try. Why not?
I guess so. We'll talk about it, but we'll go to a break and we'll be back with hopefully more here on the MVSP.